It's currently Saturday of week 38. It's the night before my half marathon, and it is with great sadness and great regret that the nerves are running high, and so is the anger. Let me take you back a little bit. For those of you that actually follow my vlogs regularly and have been following my fitness journey and been following my training up to this half marathon, you know that I have been struggling quite a lot the last few weeks. For about a month, maybe a month and a half-ish, with my calves, and not only calves, but my ankles. I've been getting a lot of pain and a lot of tension and a lot of tightness in my calves and my ankles. Like, even within the first kilometre, I've had to stop up to 3 times to stretch and warm up my calves, even though I've already done a warm-up, to try and help them get back into shape, or to help them, you know, loosen up a little bit in order to do this. I don't really know what to say. Unfortunately, that tightness has not gone away. It's actually been getting worse, to the point where I can't even run 200 to 300 meters without getting a lot of tension in the back of my left ankle. This week I was meant to do 2 training runs. One was a 3.5k, one was a 4k, and I couldn't do them. I didn't get up on time, surprise, surprise, but every day, or every time I had one coming up, I thought it's fine because I actually have the evening free for once. I've specifically planned to have these evenings free so I can do this training. And then the evenings come around and I've not been able to do the run because my ankle has been too much pain from walking the dogs. Now, I've never got ankle pain, or not recently, not since I've gone into barefoot shoes. I've not had ankle pain for the longest of time, and it has been creeping in slowly, even just walking the dogs. Every single day this week, I have not gone a single day, well, for the last 2 weeks really, I've not gone a single day where I have not been in pain in my ankles in some way, shape or form. I have tried foam rolling, I have tried massaging, I have tried putting a cold compress on there to try and cool it down that way, and nothing seems to be working. And even now, today for example, I actually went out and did 2 dog walks today. One was 30 minutes and one was 15, just because it was a quick pop in while the dog went to the toilet. But even the 30-minute walk, within 10 minutes of being on the walk, my ankle was hurting. And is still hurting, and is actually slightly swollen at the back near my Achilles, even now, 6 hours later. So I did a bit of research into it. I googled it, I went to Dr. Google and did some research about the different things that it could be, and it is most likely Achilles tendonitis, which is swelling, inflammation and tightness, etc. in the Achilles, which is very similar to tennis elbow. So it's essentially a form of repetitive strain injury. Now, I have not been diagnosed by this with a doctor. I do intend to go to the doctor to get it checked, just to be 100% sure, because I need my feet and my ankles to do my job. Like, I am a professional dog walker. I literally have to walk for work. So if I can't walk, if my Achilles snaps or goes on me, I'm out of work for 12 months and I will really struggle. Like, we're meant to be buying a house. If I don't have any income, I won't even be able to pay the mortgage. Now, I'll be honest, even with all the pain going on and even with all the backups and even with not being able to do this last bit of extra training because of the pain, I still had every intention of doing this goddamn half marathon tomorrow. I had every intention in the world of doing this half marathon run tomorrow, until about 30 minutes ago. Jason got home from work and he confirmed he's definitely pulling out of the race because he hasn't recovered from the flu that he had the other week. His chest is still recovering, he still has some scarring on his lungs, and he still can't do relatively high activity exercises without having to start coughing. And then for me, obviously, I've been getting a lot of pain in my ankles, and I'm still sat here with pain in my left ankle after resting it for 6 hours. And I'm not gonna lie, it is slightly swollen. It is. Not by much, but there is some swelling down there. Jason pointed out that if I do try and run tomorrow and I push myself and I push too hard, or if my ankle starts hurting and I don't give up, because I really struggled at that 16k the other week. I really struggled. My feet and my ankles were so sore by the end of it. Jason pointed out that if I do over push myself tomorrow, and if I do push myself past my limits and my ankle or my Achilles heel and my Achilles tendon ends up snapping because I didn't listen to my body when it was telling me it needs rest, it's in pain, it needs to heal, I could potentially have to go to hospital and have surgery to have my Achilles tendon repaired. And not only that, if that happened, I would be out of work for up to 12 months. And that's a very big reality check. But at the same time, I'm so annoyed and I'm so upset because all I wanted to do was to freaking do this half marathon. This was going to be my goal for this year. This was going to be like the big thing I would be working towards. I've put my calisthenics training on hold for this. I put my mobility training on hold for this, which in retrospective is probably hasn't helped the Achilles issue, because if I'd actually kept up with my mobility training, I'd actually be in a better condition than what I am now, and I'd probably be less tense. I'm just so annoyed. So annoyed with myself. I've made the decision to listen to Jason. Because he's right. If I try and run tomorrow and my Achilles tendon snaps and I'm out of work for 12 months, we're stuffed. Like, we wouldn't even be able to afford our bills. So it was with great heartbreak and great regret that I'm not actually going to be running the half marathon tomorrow. I am really freaking annoyed by that. Really freaking annoyed by that. Sometimes it is necessary. Sometimes knowing when to quit's the wrong word. Knowing when to take a break is more important than reaching the goal. Listening to your body and preventing an injury is more important than running the race. Because at the end of the day, if you try and run the race and you get yourself injured, your next race may not be for another 2 years. Alternatively, you can take that rest period, you can recover from it. Your next race might only be a month away. That's the way I'm having to look at it right now. When I've actually thought about it, I think the marathon that we're now running next year is going to be my last big run. Like big run. Even though I've only really started running again this year, it's going to be my last big run. Once we've completed that marathon, once we've raced that marathon and we've ticked it off our bucket lists, I don't think I'll be running any big races ever again. I'm still going to maybe do 5Ks. I'll definitely push myself for a 10K, but I don't think anything over a 10K or maybe even over a 12K is something that my body is capable of when I am physically walking for 3 hours a day on top of the runs. However, Jason actually has found something very interesting in the last few weeks. So for those that may not know, Jason is actually a paddleboard instructor, and where he works they do paddleboarding and canoeing, and they're currently starting sailing and stuff like this. That's regardless. One of the things that he's found out about is that there is actually such a thing as paddleboard races, where people race on the water. They are not required to run, they are simply required to balance and stay on their board whilst paddling at high speed. Now, that sounds a heck of a lot more inviting than running on roads for 21 kilometres or more. A lot more inviting. So I'm not going to give up with running. I'm still going to do some running for cardio, but I don't think I'm going to run more than 3 to 5k during the week. And then if I feel like it, I might sign up to a couple of 10k races just to give myself a bit of a goal and a bit of something to push towards. However, I think in order to help the strength in my ankles, because that's one of the places I'm really struggling at the moment, and it's something I've said a lot over the last year in my vlogs, is I am really struggling with the strength in my ankles. My ankles cannot cope with the current weight that I am at, and my balance is all over the place, and my ankles are currently struggling with strength. Whereas paddleboarding is very, very good for balance and ankle strength, along with several other things. So I think going forward, in part of preparation for marathon training, I might start going paddleboarding more often to try and build up that ankle strength and to try and build up the muscles a bit better after I've rested. And next year, after the big marathon, I think I'm going to keep my races to 10k, but potentially dabble in paddleboard races. But we'll see. I've not got that far yet. That's a maybe right now. I've got enough going on as it is. But the thought of potentially like switching standard running for paddleboard races. It's very intriguing, and being a water person myself is a lot more tempting than what I'm currently doing. Another good thing about this whole half marathon training thing being over is I can finally get back to my calisthenics and mobility training properly. Training 3 days a week, getting back into that routine, getting back into that habit, and then going from there and seeing how things are. So I'm going to give my ankle 2 weeks rest. I'm just going to go to work and do work stuff. I'm not going to do any runs for the next 2 weeks. I am going to do some mobility training, and I am going to restart my calisthenics training because I really want to restart my calisthenics training. And then after that 2 weeks, I'm going to build myself back up slowly to a 10K before then starting a 20-week marathon training plan in December. So that's the plan. And like I said, I'm freaking heartbroken that I'm not going to be running this half marathon. But it's okay because I have run a half marathon in the past. I ran one 7 years ago. So I've done a half marathon distance in the past. If anything, this is just the universe telling me I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. I need to break into it even more slowly. But I just wanted to say thank you for following me and supporting me on this journey, and for believing in me, and for giving me so much motivation and support. I am so grateful for it. And at the same time, I just feel so bad because I feel like I'm not only letting myself down, I feel like I'm letting you guys down as well, which I don't like. Anyway, we're going to get back at it on Monday. Me and Jason are both going to take tomorrow as a gaming day. We're just going to sit and game and play Baldur's Gate 3 for the whole day because I think we both need it. I think we both need just a disconnect to forget what's actually going on tomorrow. So annoyed. So annoyed. But here's to better things. Here's to the return of calisthenics training. Here's to the return of mobility training. And here is to healing and recovery. So I guess I'll see you guys on Monday. Sorry for the short, sweet video, but it's I didn't want to vlog a lot of this week because obviously I didn't do any training. And I think I'm going to start going back to slightly more lifestyle vlogs. I only mean only slightly more, where I have a chat with you guys as I'm doing stuff, like in between my exercises, or even talking over the top of doing my exercises. I'm going to work it out. Here's to the future. Here's to a healed, fitter, stronger, healthy me. And I hope that you guys are doing better than me in your fitness goals, life goals, whatever it is you're aiming towards. I hope you're all succeeding. I hope you are all just taking little steps towards that goal. And if you are struggling, if you are battling an injury, if you are struggling to get by, or if you are in a dark place, just reach out. Have a chat. Have a chat with me in the comments if you need to. But thank you guys for everything, and here's to the marathon next year instead.